Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Today we have another return guest. You might have remembered, I don't know, gosh, Melissa, was it a year ago, maybe longer? Melissa joined the podcast because she is a therapist who has BPD. And that was really cool for me to meet another person who's sort of out about their BPD and works as a therapist. Fast forward however long it's been, and holy shit, she has a baby. And you guys know, I'm like, okay, you're coming back on. We got to talk about this because everybody knows that this podcast is selfish and I have to know about this journey for my own stuff. So, Melissa, you're here, you're a mom. Fill us in. What's been happening?
Yeah. So I think last time I was on, it was over a year ago because what was it? September 13th, 2024, I found out I was pregnant. So it had to have been before that. Um, but yeah, so my little girl, she is the best and she is almost 5 months already. I feel like time just flies by. Um, but yeah, she's pretty amazing. And I know I had a lot of fear and with the unknown of like what motherhood would be like. Definitely, obviously, still have fear and don't know what each stage of her life is going to be like. But so far, it's been amazing. And I've definitely been handling like the ups and downs of emotions probably better than I ever have in my life, which is confusing to me, but great at the same time.
Yeah, I bet that feels good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, one of the things I've had to talk about a lot with my team is like if we do have a baby before Talon and I pursue trying to find sperm anywhere, which you and I will talk about that.
Really?
I have to sort of stabilize my meds. I can be pregnant on lithium, but we want me to be on the lowest dose of lithium, which means maybe a higher dose of lamotrigine because that's safer. And then some of
Yeah.
the other meds that I'm on. So it's like, it's really, if we are going to try to get pregnant, there's a lot that I have to do in terms of my medication to try to change and stabilize. What has that looked like for you?
Yeah. So I've been on, gosh, like every med possible over the years. And I would say leading up to trying to get pregnant, it was a very quick decision of me trying to get pregnant versus my wife, as she had two miscarriages. And one day I was like, why don't we start trying for me? And so it was a very quick, like, I got to change some meds around. So I kind of quickly went off of, let's see, I went off of Vyvanse pretty quickly. Because I
That is
definitely
the
bounced all
worst.
over the place. What?
That's the worst one, right? Like, I'm like, fuck. But you can get on Adderall. Did you get on Adderall?
I didn't. I didn't get diagnosed with ADHD till I mean like 2 years ago. And so I've kind of just functioned my whole life, kind of like my old therapist says I ping pong around because I can talk about a million things all at the same time. I didn't get on any other like ADHD med. And then I can't remember. I'm on sertraline now. I think I had to switch to it before pregnancy. I'm not sure what I was on for an antidepressant. And then I've been on Lamictal and stayed on Lamictal the whole time. And so during pregnancy, among the like vitamins and all that, I was on Lamictal and sertraline, and I'm still just on those two. Oh, well, I do have a Ativan PRN now because anxiety kind of spiked.
Yeah,
But
I do
yeah,
as well. Uh,
yeah.
and thank God for it.
I was hesitant for it because just my history with benzos and like thoughts, desires to overdose on with it. But it's really in a weird way. I think this is weird at least. It's the only safest like anti-anxiety med while breastfeeding. So I was like, well, I mean, I'm pretty fucking anxious, so let's give it a go. And it's been fine. Half the time I forget I even have it. But
Yeah.
I've definitely been taking it more the past week. Just anxiety kind of kicked up a notch.
hmm Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
nice tool to have when you have it. And if you feel confident in how you'll use it, then I only get 5 a month and I'll cut them in half if I feel like I need to. So
Yeah.
I have that safeguard built in of like, I'm never going to get enough to fuck
Okay.
around with, at
Yeah.
least for
That's
now.
good.
But
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you were on sertraline and you were on Lamictal. And so how did you feel knowing I'm going to continue taking my psych meds through my pregnancy? That can be a very stigmatized behavior. How did you feel about that?
I've been on psych med since 2013, and I don't know my life without them. So it's like, yes, there's so many stigmas about like pregnancy and meds, and I mean, literally everything. There's a stigma with pregnancy. But for me, it's like I already have the stigma of being on meds for so long that it's just like my doctors say these ones are safe. I mean, what's more important, me like decompensating and killing myself, or taking these meds to stay stable while I'm pregnant and after pregnancy. So I didn't really think too much about it.
I love that for you. I feel like I would be really worried seeing doctors. Like, I would have to have more doctors on my team if I was pregnant. I feel like I would feel a lot of fear at first, saying, like, this is the laundry list of psych meds I'm taking while I'm growing this human, and you better not fucking say anything about it to me.
Yeah. I have a great team. So my psychiatrist at the no, during my whole pregnancy, he's very, very knowledgeable. Not so much with like pregnancy, but he would be like, ask your OB. But my OB was like, yeah, sertraline and Lamictal are fine. And I loved my OBs. Amazing, like the best I could ask for. I don't see my psychiatrist anymore because he only sees clients in person. And quite honestly, driving to the office is just too much for me right now. So, but I still have a psychiatrist, and just a different one. She's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me about the journey to get pregnant. We are queer. We don't have sperm floating around.
Right, right. I like to joke that my wife has magic fingers, but not true.
I mean, she
Uh
might have magic fingers in a
I
different
mean
way.
I mean valid, valid. So yeah, one day we were just I mean, a lot of talk went into it, but one day we were like, why don't I try soon? I'm doing really well mentally. Like I can talk with my doctors about, medication, make sure everything's good and get on the right meds and, go from there. And so we went through a long journey with her. And after two miscarriages and a lot of fertility treatments, like she was pretty defeated and I was sad as well. So we decided I was gonna try right pretty quickly. And then we didn't want, or initially I didn't want to, spend a lot of money on sperm because I didn't even know if I can get pregnant because I have a very awkward medical history. I had a freak accident as a kid and had to get exploratory surgery in my stomach, essentially, and then vaginal surgery. Like I had a laceration from. I'll just tell the story. So when I was like 12, I was swimming at a friend's house, and we were pole vaulting, so to say, over the pool skimmer, the big long pole. Yeah. So instead of like jumping over it horizontally, we were jumping over it vertically, and I kind of didn't clear it off of a diving board, sat on it, and basically, yeah, as I jumped off the diving board or tried to jump over it. Um,
I just need people to know you can't see my face, but it's a painful face.
yeah. So that caused, we actually read the records recently, well, before pregnancy, because I was 12. I didn't fucking know like what even happened other than I have a big ass scar on my stomach and had some surgery in my vagina. So my wife used to be a nurse. So she was like, wow, you had like a pretty big laceration, and I like I hit the cavity, whatever, some in my stomach, I don't know, whatever. So I didn't puncture anything, but it hit my like intestinal tract. Like it just like grazed it, but pretty much if it did anything worse, I think that would have been pretty bad, maybe deadly. So didn't know if I could get pregnant because of that. I saw maternal fetal medicine as like a support just to make sure things went well or all that stuff. And so we got sperm from there's an app, Just a Baby is where um we found a guy, and he was super sweet. He just comes to our house, provides us his specimen, and wait till he's done, and then inseminated. However, we
Is
did
it, can
that.
I just ask a question?
Yes.
Is it so fucking gross?
Oh, yeah. Um,
Because
yeah, it
listen,
was.
it's not like I haven't found my fair share of, cum. I have
Yeah,
experienced that a lot, but I just need to say it's fucking gross. I don't care what body part it's on or if it's in, it's gross.
my once because she had to inseminate me, whatever you call it, and she got it all over her hands and was like, "This is disgusting." And I'm just laying there laughing because I can't see what she's doing other than like inseminating. But yeah, it was pretty gnarly. It yeah, got everywhere, let's just say. Um, and so he came over twice. The second time, so it didn't work the first time. It actually didn't work the second time either. But it was within the same cycle because I never really tracked my cycles well. So we are still figuring that out. The second time, my wife was ovulating at the same time. So we both tried it. Um, Kind of thankfully, neither one of us got pregnant because if we both got pregnant, now knowing what pregnancy was like, that would have been hell. But so yeah, so that happened, didn't get pregnant. Me and my wife went out of town to visit my best friend from college. So we were up in Washington State. Um, wait, don't you live there?
Yeah, out on the
Um, okay. Um, so yeah, we were visiting my friend and I brought ovulation tests because I was about to ovulate. We ordered the sperm from the cryobank this time because the guy was out of town and we didn't know when he would be back. And so it's like midnight and we're ordering sperm to get to our house back in California to make sure we had it, when we got home. Fast forward, I don't ovulate for another 7 days. And the sperm only holds in the tank for like 5 or 7 days. So finally, I think day 8, I ovulated. So our midwife, who is amazing, she came over and pretty much what we have to do is once she gets to our house, we take the little vial of sperm out of the what is it called? The big tank of liquid nitrogen or something like that. And we have to de-thaw it because it's like frozen and really cold. So my wife was de-thawing it and the midwife, we were just talking, whatever. And then it was almost de-thawed. So she starts to find my cervix. And I say that because of my surgical history, it's hard to find my cervix. So she's doing that for 20 minutes. And
Was
the
that
thing is,
painful?
it wasn't painful. It was just, I'm like hanging off the side of the bed, trying to like hold my legs up and her find my cervix for 20 minutes. I mean, it's uncomfortable. Um, I think it was better than like at an OB office because I'm at my house. So it's not as like, I don't know, doctor like. Um, but so the sperm is only supposed to be thawed for like 10 minutes, I think, something like that. But she was looking for my cervix for 20. So we're like, okay, well, me and my wife were like, well, just like in our heads, we'll just plan for another round in a month. And so finally she found my cervix. And then she used the little insemination thing to get the sperm out of the little vial. And so she gets it out and she's like, okay, I think I got it all. And then she starts talking about how she's supposed to have glasses, but she refuses to get glasses. So we're like, well, she's inserting like the smallest amount of sperm into me and it costs like 2 grand. Like we've already had it for 8 days. It sat out for more than 10 minutes. Like, all right. So she's she got the sperm out and she says, I think I got it all. And then my wife looks in the vial and she's like, no, there's still some there. And so the midwife's like, okay, put it under the light. Meanwhile, it's like literally under our desk light, like bright as can be. So my wife guided her to get the rest of the sperm out. And then the midwife did the insemination and she was very slow in a good way, like making sure it all got in to the, because we did IUI, so into the uterus. And she said it didn't leak out, so that's a good sign. And so me and my wife were just like, we love her, but this is scary because she's blind. Um, well, fast forward 2 weeks, I take a test and I leave it on the counter at home and go off to work and send the picture to my friend. My wife's still asleep. My friend's like, I think I might see a shadow. I'm like, yeah, right, right. Um, then my wife, she wakes up and she sees it on the counter and she calls me. She's like, I think I see something. I'm like, no, are you? And so my friend, she's like, hold your pee for 2 hours and then take another test. And I'm like, okay, I'm at work. I don't have any tests or cups with me. Um, I have to see clients and holding my pee and seeing clients, like that's just rough. But I was like, I want to know. So I held my pee for 2 hours, which is like a miracle for me. And I went to like CVS across the street. I bought a shit ton of little like cups where you put mouthwash in and then some tests. And my friend's like, you get these tests because these ones read the best and all this jazz. Same friend that I visited in Washington. Um, and then I took the test and I was like, I think I'm passing something, like actually. And she thought so too. And then she's like, okay, hold your pee again for 2 hours, retest. So do that again. And I was like, I for sure see a line. Did this all in the work bathroom. Um, and so my wife's like, yeah, we definitely see a line. And so we get home, um, or I get home from work. She's cooking steak because that's my favorite meal, and she's like, yeah, we're pregnant. And then that night I took like the one that says pregnant or not pregnant, and it said pregnant, and I'm like, holy shit, because you need like more HCG to register on those ones, I guess. And so I was like, wow, this is real. Uh, and then, so this is Friday the 13th of September, which, some people say that's an unlucky day. Friday is the 13th. So, yeah, I got the positive pregnancy test, had my favorite meal, and then I started feeling kind of like I had a sore throat that night. And I'm like, feel like I'm getting COVID. And I was like, no, it can't be. There's a lot going on. Sure enough, in the middle of the night, I did not feel good, took a COVID test, and I was positive for COVID. So that all happened. And then the next day, we were supposed to go to dinner with my parents. We didn't, but I FaceTimed them and told them that I'm pregnant. And they were shocked and excited all at the same time.
Yeah, so you told right away. How did you feel about that?
I was anxious because my parents and I have had a rocky relationship pretty much my whole life, like at least in my view. Um, but I really wanted to tell them just because I was so excited. And honestly, they didn't even know I was trying to get pregnant. So when we told them, they thought my wife was the one pregnant. And then I said, it's me. And they like were like, wow, congratulations. So they were really like responsive and like excited. So that was cool. But then like after I told them, I was like, what if I have a miscarriage? Now they know. And, I was like freaking out about all that. And I did have bleeding like a week or two later, but everything was fine. So yeah,
That's quite the journey.
I know it's like all these things that point to that time that insemination wasn't going to work. And, now here she is 5 months later, like the best little baby in the world.
Tell me about your pregnancy and how you felt emotionally.
Yeah. So pregnancy, um, emotionally was fine. I didn't really have any like oh my God moments. Like times where I felt down and anxious, but nothing like severe. Honestly, nothing compared to when I was in the midst of like active BPD symptoms, when they were not like under control. Um, so I was okay. First trimester, I felt sick. Um, Second trimester, I felt really good, like physically, emotionally, and like I was fine. Third trimester, started getting back pain. I couldn't like bend down to put my shoes on. Kind of felt sick again, but really excited as the time was coming. I didn't have the traditional like they call it nesting, I think, where like you clean every little thing in your house. I honestly was like, I just want to sleep all the time and I don't want to clean. Um, so that was kind of anxiety provoking. Like, why am I not nesting? Is this like a reflection of how I'm going to be as a mom? Like, I'm not going to care about like cleaning or like tidying up, which is funny because since becoming a mom, all I want to do is clean and organize to make sure everything is like good for the baby. So, but yeah, it was pretty a good pregnancy compared to like what I've heard from others. I would say I had a easy pregnancy. Didn't always feel easy, but in comparison,
Yeah, you're making it seem like it's doable.
it really was. And I think I am lucky that I didn't have like horrible physical symptoms other than like the nauseousness, throwing up, and physical like back pain and all that. But other than that, it wasn't like I got knocked out for 9 months.
And how was your birthing process? Because I'm fucking terrified of the pain. That is like what I if I was pregnant and if I birthed, what I would want to do is birth at home, but we're 2.5 hours from a hospital that I trust, so that wouldn't work. So I don't know what a birthing plan would look like, but I am terrified of the pain.
Yeah, so I actually had a C-section because of my
Okay,
surgery for my kid.
that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. And I was kind of like less anxious about a C-section than vaginal birth because I hear the pain is like pretty fucking gnarly. Um, but also like I didn't feel the C-section, but the aftermath is pretty gnarly, the recovery. Um,
I've actually heard that
so
the recovery from a C-section is worse than recovery from a vaginal birth.
I've heard that too. Yeah, because like you literally get cut open. Um, and it's like a major abdominal surgery. Because in my head, or even to my wife, I kept saying like, why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? And she's like, you literally just got cut open. Like, of course, you're not going to be able to like walk up the stairs quite yet, or like lay on your side. So it was tough, but it wasn't like horrible. And now like I mean, it's been what, almost 5 months and I'm totally fine, other than like being numb still, but like in the incision area. But yeah, it was an experience. We didn't really have a birthing plan. I mean, we knew I was going to get a C-section. But our like plan was to have all of us be happy and healthy and safe. Um, and like I said earlier, my OBs were amazing. So we had two in the operating room, our two favorites. So it worked out well. Um, there's one thing I was going to add to that. I don't remember. I don't know. I was anxious though, for sure. They gave me some anxiety meds that morning because you're awake during the C-section. So it's fucking trippy. Like you're like in the OR, like looking around. You can't see them do the procedure though. So that's a good thing. We did get a accidental picture though of the umbilical cord because my wife like held up the camera and got that whole thing when the baby was born. It was gnarly, but it was cool.
It sounds amazing for you.
Was I mean, I know it kind of sounds like I mean, to me, if I heard that story, I'd be like, oh, that's kind of gross. But it's like the umbilical cord and just like, like bleeding everywhere. But it's all worth it to me.
And how do you feel about mothering? Do you trust yourself?
The first 2 months, I was like, I'm a shitty mother. All I want to do is sleep. Like, she is not a good eater, which has been not just like hard. Like, initially, the doctor was like, she needs to eat more. And we're like, we literally feed her around the clock and she just doesn't want to eat. Fast forward to now, the doctor's like, she's just a busy baby. She gets bored. So, like, she's fine. Her weight is within her norm. And as long as you're like offering the bottle, because I pump. And we do. We add some formula into the breast milk as well, just because she is like small on the small end. Um, which has also been weirdly triggering in regards to like my eating disorder history. Because it's like I don't want to force my kid to eat, but also like she doesn't like she's an intuitive eater as a baby in a sense. But like I don't know. It's like a weird, like, don't want to force you to eat, but you need to eat kind of thing. That's been a little tough.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. But I would say the past like 2, almost 3 months, I've been more trusting with myself. Like I'm understanding my baby more, like what she likes, what she doesn't like. She smiles all the time. So it's like if I check the facts, I'm like, okay, she's happy, healthy, being taken care of amazingly by me and my wife. So like even though sometimes I'm like, well, I have the TV on, I'm a shitty mom. It's like, okay, really? Like she's hitting milestones like even more than maybe a 4 to 5 month old is at, she's like advanced, I like to say. So I just really check the facts and my wife helps me with that because there's times where I'm like, I'm not doing good enough. Yeah.
This is maybe a strange question that some people may or may not understand, but like as a mental health provider, we hear a lot of really terrible stories about really awful things happening. And I have some pretty brutal, intrusive images that happen because of the stories that I've heard. Do you, I have this severe fear that if I had a baby, I would have like really bad intrusive images about bad things happening to them.
Yeah.
Have you experienced anything like that?
Yeah. Every time I walk with the baby, like outside, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna fall. And then I have this like whole narrative of what's gonna happen. Um, those type of things, or just like thinking about like as she grows up, like stranger danger, like that type of thing. And then I play this whole scenario of like really bad things. And I'm trying to like, I guess check the facts again. Like I am going to teach her about safety, about like life balance, independence, not telling her like, no, you can't hang out with your friends, but also like being realistic and be like, okay, if that friend's not like a good person, like let's explore how to keep you safe and maybe not go out with that person. Because I have a negative narrative for literally every part of her life. So just kind of reeling it back and trying to live in the present.
Yeah,
So,
living in the present, that's so important.
mhm.
You're doing the
Yeah, I
thing.
have her. Sorry, what was that?
Said you're doing the thing.
Yeah, yeah, I would say I am. And it's pretty cool to think like with my history that everything has come to like a like me living a life worth living, if we're gonna quote Marshall Linehan, right? So it's pretty cool.
Possible. Like it is absolutely possible.
Yeah, it definitely is.
You were going to say something about her just a minute ago. What were you going to say?
Oh yeah. I have her monitor next to me and her room is like 75 and she only likes to sleep with her big sleep sack on. So like my intrusive thought is like she's overheating right now and she's not gonna wake up. But like 75 is not hot. Like I was just in her room. It wasn't too hot. Who knows if the camera is even correct? Like, yeah. So just trying to check the facts on that one.
Oh my God, that's so funny. When I think about having a baby, so our house is old and the rooms downstairs are additions and they are
Okay.
very cold. And so,
Ah,
um, and we heat our house with mostly wood, but the wood stove doesn't, like in my office, I need a heater if I want to be warm.
oh.
And if we had a baby, they would either be with us upstairs always,
Hmm.
or they would be in one of these rooms. And I'm like, we're going to freeze our baby to death, or we're going to have a heater that's going to explode or something, right? Like, I can't even like fathom how we would do that. It's just everything scares me.
I totally understand that. Yeah. Her so she was in our room the first 4 months. We have our room pretty cold. I mean, not Washington weather cold, but this time of year. But I think what is it? It was like 75 an hour ago outside in
I don't
October.
know. We're in the 50s, low 50s right now.
I figured it's not a warm time of year. Um, so she has always slept in like a sleep sack or a swaddle when she was a newborn. She loves it. And so like now that she's in her room because she was not sleeping in her bassinet and kind of she's really long, so she kind of outgrew it. And she loves her room in the big crib. But like if the sleep sack is not on her, she doesn't sleep. And so it's like it's just I feel like I know I'm just saying this because I'm not in a cold area right now, but I feel like I'd rather have it cold because then I can put her in that sleep sack and not worry. But also, I'm sure I would worry even if it was cold versus hot. So I think there's like no way around not worrying in a sense.
Yeah. I feel like I would never sleep again. I would constantly be checking. But then that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
everyone says. Everyone says that's what it's like at first, and then you just kind of roll with it and you start sleeping and you start trusting and like it gets better.
Yeah. I'm noticing that for sure. Like at first, like any sound, I would like jump. Um, but then when she started finding her voice, it's like I gotta get used to her like just making noise. And I'm able to differentiate like, oh, she's just talking versus like, no, she's ready for cuddles or a bottle or whatever.
I love this for you.
Thanks. Yeah, she's pretty great.
I bet.
I yeah, I never like I knew what I wanted my life to look like, but nothing went how I imagined it. And so now like having everything I could want and need is pretty great. I'm trying to remember I'm still allowed to be anxious and depressed if those emotions come up, which anxiety for sure. Depression, not so much right now. But, and then intrusive thoughts come and go, which are hard to like have because then I'm like, well, I have a baby. I shouldn't be having these intrusive thoughts. It's like about like my life. But like I can't control the thoughts. I can just control what I do with them.
Yes, that's very DBT of you.
Oh yes. So yeah, but it's been great. And I went back to work it was early August, so about 2 months. I my clients are always like, "How's the baby?" I'm like, "Good. Do you want to see pictures?" It's kind of cool working in private practice because, like, I don't know. I feel like maybe it's because I've been a therapist for a little while and I'm not as like, no, you can't see a picture of my baby because you're a client. Like, no, I just feel like things are just good in work and life and everything is, I don't know, everything's good. I love it.
Yeah, it all came together.
Yeah, it really has. And there's going to be challenges every day. And I am worried when she gets a little older, like, how am I going to handle different things?
Mhm.
I've never really had to set boundaries with a kid. Obviously, it's my first and probably last. But yeah, I guess I'll just see how it goes when she gets older.
Yeah, stay in the present, right?
Yep.
Do you think you'll tell her about your BPD diagnosis someday?
Oh, I have not thought of that. I've thought about all the other things, like the self-harms, like hospitalizations, all that stuff. Um, I don't know. I feel like if she asks about like my scars and stuff, I feel like I'll eventually get to a place of telling her. I don't know. So I haven't thought too much about this, but like I hate diagnoses. Um, I think I hate it because like, as therapists, we like with insurance, we have to diagnose people. And so like, yeah, it's very clear I have BPD, but like, I don't know if I want to teach her that she has to have a diagnosis to be heard or valid. Not that a diagnosis means that you're not heard and valid, but like, I don't know, I feel like being therapists where we see diagnoses differently. At least I do. It's not just like you're depressed. It's like you have clinical depression. So I might teach her like I have troubles with like I've had troubles with food. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to approach it. But I do want her to know like I've struggled and it's okay to struggle and we'll get you help if that's whatever type of help she needs.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll know what's right when you get there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm. Well, my friend, what is the one thing you want people to know about borderline and mothering?
People with borderline, I feel like we are stigmatized, right? Um, but we're not all about like, I need attention. I just want to kill myself. I don't like life. We're looking for connection. And I've never felt connected to a person like my wife and my baby because I've never had healthy connection. I've always needed connection, but got it from all the maladaptive ways. And so I think what I would share is that like you can be a good mom or parent with borderline. It's just about learning how to connect with your baby in a way that makes you and them feel good and supported and loved. And I mean, I feel like with borderline, we have so much love to give. And I see that with myself and my little one.
That's so beautiful.
Thanks.
Thank you for joining me to talk about this on the podcast. I feel really honored that you were like so honest and open.
Yeah, for sure. Of course. I enjoyed coming on the podcast.
Yes, we'll have to do more updates when she's like 2, 3. Yeah, like
Oh
when
my
you're
gosh,
in
yeah.
the toddler phase.
Yes, yes. And running around. Oh God. But
Yeah.
yeah, most definitely.
Well, my friend, thank you so much. Hi, listeners. Thank you for tuning in to the Bold, Beautiful Borderline podcast. I hope you enjoyed the episode today. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your content. That is super helpful for me. It helps us find additional folks who want to listen to the show, want to feel seen, family members who want to learn, and partners who want to understand. If you want to follow along to more than just the podcast, find us on Instagram at Bold Beautiful Borderline, find me at Borderline from Hell, or head over to boldbeautifulborderline.com where there's information, resources, a place to leave a voicemail to be heard on the podcast, which I love, and just general content. All of that information can be found in the show notes. And if you want to get exclusive content, which is bonus episodes, journal prompts, worksheets, all sorts of extra stuff. Sometimes videos of me with my hair very crazy, with kind of impulsive, borderline rants, head over to Patreon and consider becoming a member. That is super helpful with creating content that allows me to destigmatize BPD and all of the other wild mental health struggles that we discuss on the podcast. A huge thanks to everyone who joins on the podcast to share their story and just generally helps keep this thing alive. Especially my friend Corey Evans from the Evergreen Band. He produced and created the music that is the intro and outro for this show, as well as the cover art that was created by my husband, Talon Abbott. Their information is found in the show notes. All of the information discussed in the podcast is purely personal experience. This is not medical recommendations. This is not therapy recommendations. There's no producer for this show. It's all me.